Well, last week, MSU Billings announced it would begin a search for a permanent chancellor. For the past year, Ron Larson has led the university on an interim basis. Q2's Samantha Harrelson was on campus today as MSU President Waded Cruzado hosted a community forum to get a better idea of what the community is looking for. Sammy.
Jay and Janelle, a few dozen people joined Dr. Cruzado to share their hopes for the person who will be selected to fill the chancellor position at MSU Billings. Many of those in attendance expressed their support for interim Chancellor Ron Larson. They say he has not only done a great job with the university, but also with outreach within the community. Dr. Larson has been the interim chancellor for the last year or so and has not said whether or not he will try for the permanent position. But above all, the crowd said they want stability for the university.
What I heard today is that we want to have a leader who's very student-centered, that understands the needs of the faculty and the staff, and a person who's able to inspire all of us, the entire community and the region, to elevate MSU Billings to its next level of excellence.
Dr. Cruzado says the goal is to have a new chancellor appointed by July 1st. Janelle?
All right, thanks so much, Sammy. Up next in weather.